A military parade has been held to mark Georgia's Independence Day. The event in the capital, Tbilisi, follows weeks of protests and unrest over new legislation which critics say threatens democracy. The so-called Foreign Agent Bill requires media and non-profit organisations to register if more than 20% of their funding comes from abroad. The law was passed by Parliament but vetoed by Georgia's president, who attended the ceremony. The ruling Georgian Dream party is, however, set to start parliamentary proceedings to override that presidential vote. Let's bring in our reporter Maria Katamadze in Tbilisi. Describe the mood among the people today.
It's a very festive atmosphere here in the Georgian capital city, Tbilisi. The military parade was held in the morning, and as you said, the officials and the pro-Western president Salome Zurabishvili, they made their speeches, but these speeches were very, very different in a way. Salome Zurabishvili was saying that Europe is actually the way for Georgia, that Europe will help Georgia to keep its independence, but the Georgian Dream party, ruling party, has been claiming that she's a traitor. That was mentioned in the speech of the Prime Minister of Iraq, Kobakidze. He said that Western countries are interfering in Georgian affairs, and you can see that the Independence Day is a very dividing here in Georgia, despite the festive atmosphere, despite the people coming out on the streets to celebrate this crucial day for the country, because the independence for Georgia was a very difficult achievement, very bloody wars. The Georgians went through very bloody times to achieve this independence. In the past 30 years, Russia has invaded Georgia, and this is the day that many say that very important for them. But they also have been telling me, people here on the streets, that they gained this independence, but it's very fragile and they still need to fight for it.
So are there any more protests planned?
The protests are expected to continue today. Actually, they never ended. They were always held in different locations, much in a smaller scale protest, but larger scale protest is expected tonight. The protesters say that this is the day when they have to fight again for the independence, and the so-called Foreign Agents Bill, they see it as a pro-Russian bill. They see this as a pivot to Russia, and that's why they say, the protesters, that they have to fight to keep that independence and to keep Georgia away from Russia and break away from the Russian rule at once.
So what's been the reaction of Georgian officials to the unrest?
Georgian officials said that they will not back down despite the possible sanctions from the West. EU Parliament has adopted a resolution calling on sanctions against the informal leader of the country, Bidzina Ivanishvili, who is behind the Georgian Dream party. US also suggested that they will introduce the sanction bill against the Georgian officials, who the US states is responsible for backsliding from democracy, and the Georgian officials say that we're not afraid of sanctions. We are introducing this bill because we want transparency in our country. We don't want the West to interfere in the relationships of our country, and that's why there is such an unrest in Georgia, because people do not agree with this government stance.
DW reporter Maria Katamadze in Tbilisi with the latest for us. Thank you.